if I can really just kind of call out the elephant in the room. This morning on my way to work, I heard about children being strapped to tanks to prevent them from being blown up. So there's something missing, right? So we're doing a lot of great things, and I appreciate that. But what's the missing link?
I think that the missing link is that we talk a lot about the things we are supposed to do, and very often don't really do them. We end up in situations where governments are behaving just like they used to before we have started talking about genocide and mass atrocity prevention. And that is, I don't believe, that shows a failure of us to reach out everywhere. And at the same time, looking from the other perspective, we have had the chance to influence the way governments operate and governments relate to their citizens so much more than we have had the capacity to do in the past, thanks to a genocide prevention responsibility to protect agenda, that many mass atrocities can be argued have been avoided. I am the first one to call out how bad we are still at preventing mass atrocities and how many crimes happen around us. This is not to say, though, that the work that we need to take forward is not already being done. It takes time. It took time for the convention to become anything else than a piece of paper. It took so much time for it because of the Cold War. It took time for anything that approaches an international criminal justice system to come together. But we are there. We are making serious advances in this field. But we need to continue pushing. And at the same time realize that these atrocities that happen today are great indicators of how badly our governments are still doing their job and how much help they need in doing it better.
It's hard to measure success when success is something that's prevented, right? But something that was brought up by Mark Simmons, who you may know, who's done a lot of work in Sudan, and he made the comment, and it totally just this afternoon that stuck with me. He said, the Sudanese government doesn't want peace. So that's a real barrier, that state sovereignty issue, where if you have a government that has no interest in preventing genocide, then how do you overcome that?
Again, my response would be not a very radical one. Governments don't operate in vacuum. Governments operate in this world that's getting rather small, and they, in order to operate, they have to interact with other governments, with other parts of society. It's time to actually engage with what makes a government change its mind about mass atrocity and genocide. Mapping efforts beyond the actual mapping and gathering physical data are also expanding into mapping social relationships within each society to see which of the sectors of society can be mobilized to stop that society's government from committing mass atrocities. At the same time, whenever a government fails to protect its citizens at home, that is a grand failure also of the other governments who were supposed to create an environment in which that failure to protect shouldn't have materialized. So what I am telling you is it's about engagement. It's about engagement with each and every situation. It's not a small process. It's not an easy process, and it's a resource-intensive process. But You know, we have engaged with interstate conflict for centuries, dedicating huge resources for that problem, war. Our wars today don't look the same. It's time that we rededicate resources to the wars that affect us, internal wars, mass atrocities, and we dislocate resources from our defense budget, potentially. You know, this is just an example, but there are so many ways to engage with a government that is criminal.